Hey guys, just a quick video about kind of how to start building a spread, what you do first, and then also a little bit more about the importance of spacing. So first of all, whatever is your dominant element on your spread, a lot of times that is a photo. That is what you should place first, and then that kind of drives the placement of all of the secondary elements that you will be putting on the spread, other photos, text, etc. Sometimes your headline might be the dominant element, but we'll get into that later. Most of the time, this will be your dominant photo. So as you kind of open a spread, you will see more of a grid rather than columns. But basically, you're looking at a blank spread with a lot of boxes and things like that on it. So the first thing that you will want to do is place that dominant photo. And just a kind of a quick note, this dominant photo crosses the gutter, as you can see, and that's okay. Photos can cross the gutter as long as someone's face isn't in that gutter, okay? We don't want text to cross the gutter because if you think about a book, right here is where the book shuts, and that really kind of like distorts, it would distort someone's face if it were in there, and so we want to stay away from that. But first, you would just place your dominant photo. If you really want to have that eye line, you would kind of see where you would want that to be. So basically nothing would cross this imaginary line here. There are plenty of times where it's okay to cross that eye line, but good rule of traditional design is to have an eye line. The next thing that you would place after your dominant photo would be where your headline, subheadline, and story is going to be. These should all connect. We call this the triangle. And we'll get more into that as we go on too, but headline, dominant photo, story, those should all be connected. This photo should really, move the story along. These should all be related. So that is, this triangle, and those would be the first three things that you put on your spread. After that, you would add your secondary photos. Over here's a little just kind of sidebar or secondary coverage, I guess you could say. But this is where, you kind of fill in around that. We're still following this eye line, except for over here. That's kind of its own little thing though. As you can see, next we would have space for a caption for each photo. And that is very important. Every photo that you have on the spread needs a caption. Some of them are going to be like, about this long mini stories. Others might just be quick little identification captions, but every photo needs some kind of text. Okay, so this is just kind of what it looks like when we remove those columns, that grid. You have a nice, very well laid out traditional spread. It's really as easy as that, okay? Just to kind of add on to the topic before this, which was space. Space is very powerful. Organized space adds unity, movement, and emphasis. So if you plan space within your spread, and we oftentimes call this white space, it really helps. Unplanned white space weakens the design. So sometimes it's okay to have space, but if it's just random space, then that doesn't work so well. Okay, and they're going to show you kind of what this means here. So all of these elements over here are standard spacing, which is one pica, okay, one little box, all right? But there are reasons to change your spacing up sometimes. So here's some expanded spacing here. That's probably, I don't know, 6 picas or so. But this really kind of shows that this is secondary coverage, okay? And this little expanded subheadline here, it really draws your eye into that. So that spacing is bigger than 1 pica, but it was for a reason, and so it works. I'm not going to get into these guys, but this just shows kind of standard spacing and horizontal spacing. The next thing on there is template, the importance of templates, and I will get into that in a different video. If you have any questions, let me know.